Good Monday morning. Here is Kramer's Corner with a daily technical update. It is Monday the 27th of November, and after a busy week last week, well, it was actually a fairly quiet Friday since it was only a half a day Friday in the US market due to Thanksgiving holiday Thursday. So a couple of days where we was really a little bit quiet, but still to the positive side. However, it seems like we are short term a little bit stressed here. We are just below the peak here from July earlier this year. I think we will see going into this week, at least the first couple of days, we will see markets setting a little bit back. We should have a correction after this 2-3 weeks of almost vertical rise here on S&P 500. So around 44, 58, there's some support here. It is not unlikely we could test the gap, upper part of the gap here, but I don't think it will be closed. I think we'll still see a fairly positive market going into the rest of the year. Everyone is talking about Santa Claus rally, but that is a little bit premature. It's usually something that takes place just before Christmas and over the Christmas holidays. All right, Nasdaq reached the 161.8 projection of this correction here, and I also think we should see a setback here testing the upper part of a gap area at 15,744. We are a little bit stressed short term, but again, it is a fairly positive market overall, and it should be going into the end of the year and maybe also a little bit into the new year. The EUROSTOXX 50, same thing here. Really, you can see RSI flattening where market is moving higher, so it's really weakening a little bit, and I think we'll see a correction. How much is hard to predict, but 4,300 maybe dipping a little bit below before we are moving into the end of the year. Some strong resistance around here, 43.84, 4,400, some really strong resistance that could be tested, but I think we will see some weakness first. DAX, you can also see how it's kind of starts flattening a little bit here, and we also have the RSI. RSI is still not showing divergence, meaning the peaks here, they are still confirming this uptrend here. We closed above 16,000 Friday. 16,000 is not a technical level, it's more like a psychological level. The resistance here at 16,060 is more a resistant level before the previous peak there at just above 16,528. Amsterdam closed above resistance at 763, confirming uptrend, but as you can see here, RSI didn't really confirm that, so we actually have some divergence. The peak here on RSI from last week is lower than this one over here. That means there is divergence indicating a correction, and when we have these divergences, it's a weakening of the trend, saying okay, we are close to an exhaustion, at least short term, but let's see. The Belgian markets closed actually above 35.75 resistance, hovering around this morning. But you can see here the RSI is also above 60, so we are in a bullish sentiment, and we could take higher in coming weeks. Belgian market has been overall lacking for the better part of the Q3. It's been quite weak, whereas CAC is really strong. 7,333 is the next resistance level, and I don't think it will break it at first take. We should also see a correction down to around 7,200, but we have the 100 moving average. We also have 200 moving average giving a little bit of support there. So I don't think the correction will be bigger than that. But again, we can never know. But that's at least what the charts tell me at the moment. The SMI Switzerland has been regaining some ground here lately, also just below the 100 moving average and above this rising trend line here. Again, the trend lines, when they are like that, they're not the strongest ones, but they're merely just a guideline. But nevertheless, I think it could be tested here next couple of days. I don't think we will dip down to 10,750, but keep an eye on that level, around that level here, where we also have the cloud area that will give some support. Euro dollar is trying once again at the 109.65 resistance and 61.8 retracement here this morning. Let's see if it can actually close above. It needs to close above the previous peak here. If it does, well, then there's room up to around 111. So keep an eye on that. If it does take out the lows there at 108.50, right there, then we'll see a setback down to around 107.60 level, I believe. The cable, on the other hand, is fairly strong. Friday, it broke above and closed above the 125.46 resistance, and it looks fairly strong. It has cancelled its divergence here, so we can remove that one. You see it broken above this horizontal line there. So there's room up to 127.20, 127.46, which is the 61.8 retracement, and resistance level around that. So I would expect cable to trade up above there. If it slides back and takes out the 124.45, well, then that is demolished, and we will see a reversal of trends. Dollar yen hovering around or testing the 149.04-05 support level here, just below 55. So it's going to be interesting. Where will we end at the end of the day? If it does close below, well, then we could see another push towards the 147.32 support level. If it doesn't and bounces off, well, then there's still upside potential towards 152. Euro yen stalling a little bit here today, but there's no divergence on the RSI, so we should see higher levels on euro yen in coming weeks. Aussie yen. RC yen did test Friday the 98.55 resistance level, didn't break above. So I think if we do break above that, well, then there's really a potential up towards 100 and plus in coming weeks. So let's see. But if it does break below the rising trend line here, well, then we could see another sliding back towards 96.80, potentially lower. So really some key interesting levels there, to say the least. Aussie dollar testing 66 resistance and the 200 moving average. I do believe we will break above it. I mean, it's spiked just above this morning, and I think we will break above it eventually, because we are in an uptrend. There is positive sentiment. There's no divergence as just at the look at it. So there should be further upside to Aussie dollar. The dollar index 103 support. Keep an eye on that one. It could be tested once again. If it takes it out, closes below, well, then we are looking at 102, 101.60 support level. If it can hold its back above, or keep itself above the 103, well, then we will still be in this range here. Gold on the move. Our metals are on the move, at least the precious metals. We have a new peak above 210 in gold, and I think we'll see a move up to 2040, but there's potential up to around 270, 278, which is the previous peak up here, and the 161.8, which is around 2057. So I expect to see a gold spiking out or peaking out in coming weeks. And our commodities analyst, Ole Hansen, he has published a little chart where we can see there's actually some seasonality in especially gold. It's usually strong towards the end of the year, and my boy, we can say that also this time around. Silver finally broke the 23.78 with a close. It tried several times. It cancelled this top and reversal pattern here above the falling trend line, and next one is 25.24 and 25 and a quarter, but there's potential up to 26 on silver. Very strong move, and I think we will test that fairly shortly, and possibly also that level up there. Copper, on the other hand, still a little bit muted, or still a little bit weak, but we still need a close above 382.20 and the upper falling trend line, but 382 is the key level to look out for. On the energy side, we have crude oil I think we will see crude oil to be in this range-bound area here the next couple of weeks, 72.65 and just below 80, which is quite interesting. When we are now in the deep freeze here in the northern part of Europe, and Scandinavia really cold up here, but it doesn't really affect the oil market, and it doesn't really affect the gas market. Here we have the TTF Dutch gas testing the 44.80 support again, and if we take out the lows here from last week at 43, well, then we could see a move down to around 40, possibly lower. And Henry Hub gas is in a bearish trend towards 2.5. So it doesn't really reflect in the energy market that we are in the deep freeze here in the northern Europe. Whereas the US 10-year has bounced off its 436 support, and I think we could see a move up to test the 38.2 retracement at 461 here in coming weeks. There's some strong resistance here with the also the 55 moving average kind of putting a lid on there. So let's see about that. All right, that's all for today. A long one, but have a nice day. Happy trading, and talk to you again tomorrow.